Hello and welcome to the DBT series. The skill we'll be working on this week is challenging judgments. This is for a safer space placement. Judgments. Judgments that evaluate contribute to low moods and unskillful action. Judgments do not help us feel better or solve problems. They simply make the situation worse. Here are some examples of judgments. You might think to yourself, this situation is good. This situation is bad. What's happening to me in my life shouldn't be happening. This is terrible. What I'm doing is worthless. This is wrong. These types of evaluations are something we add to things going on around us. However, the evaluations come from our mind and are not always accurate. They do not always fit the facts of reality and what is actually going on. What to do about our judgments? There's nothing wrong with having feelings about an event or situation. The problem is when you take a feeling and turn it into a statement fact. For example, saying something that happens to you is 100% the way that you interpret it. So how do you change judgments, you might ask? The trick to changing judgments is to personalize them. Instead of saying, "This room is hideous," rephrase it as, "I notice that I think this room is hideous." Instead of saying, "She is a horrible person," say, "I am upset, and due to my emotions, I am viewing her as a terrible person." This takes the emphasis of our thoughts being true away. When we avoid judgments, we are focused on the facts of the situation. Judgments also are not effective as they keep us stuck in our bad feelings and encourage rumination without changing the situation. So what do you do when you're noticing yourself judging a situation, person, or something going on? The first step is to rephrase the judgment as an "I feel" statement. Notice how your judgment is rooted in a feeling and name it. Observe and describe the feeling or emotion that's going on. Then observe and describe the facts. Another step would be practice DBT on that feeling. An example of this would be observe and describe the feeling. Practice mindfulness. Where do I feel this feeling in my body? How is it affecting my mood? And how is it influencing how I'm holding myself? Am I tensing up my shoulders? Am I clenching my jaw? Finally, validate the feeling. However, don't act on it. The third step is practice DBT on the facts. This is called check the facts, as I've gone over in a previous video. So if you needed a refresher, we have to remember that when an event happens, first we have thoughts about that event, or judgments. These judgments then influence our emotions. The first step is saying to yourself, what is the emotion I want to change? Label the emotion. The next step is saying, what is the event that is prompting my emotion? When you're examining the event that is prompting the emotion, describe what happened as literally as possible without adding in judgments. For example, if you were upset with someone for something, instead of adding in traits about the person, you would just say, I feel upset in this moment because my friend said something that made me upset. You would not add in judgments such as, my friend said something because they are mean to hurt my feelings, as these judgments don't serve a purpose. The third step is saying, what are my interpretations, thoughts, and assessments on the event? So in this case, you would be viewing how these judgments that you are making contribute to the narrative that you're telling yourself. The fourth step is to ask yourself, am I assuming a threat? For example, if your friend is making you upset, are you viewing it as something they're doing on purpose to hurt you? The next step is to ask yourself, what is the catastrophe? Is this event really as bad as I think it is? Or are you perhaps having a cognitive distortion and over catastrophizing? The final step is asking, does my emotion and its intensity fit the actual facts of the situation? If you have written out what the situation is literally, this is a good point for you to reflect on what's going on and judge if you should be as upset as you actually are. Thank you and have a nice week.